Hey everyone, let's have a little rant. I don't do rant videos very often. I like to do things that are a little bit more structured, but this is something that I can't really fit well into a more structured video, so we're just going to rant about it. As a rant, it is not going to be horribly well researched or in-depth. It's just going to be my opinion about something that bothers me. If it bothers you too, then comment about that. And if I get something horribly wrong or this doesn't bother you at all and you think I'm dumb, comment about that too. Just, be nice. So, you know that I love reading books. And you know that I really love reading and writing young adult books. That is the genre that is my favorite. I do read stuff from other genres, that one is especially important to me for various reasons. We're not here to talk about that. But something that has been really bothering me in the world of young adult books is the need for sequels and trilogies. I don't know if this is a newer thing or if it has just always been going on, but I've only really noticed it since I have been really strongly getting into young adult books, like reviewing them in the past year or two. But it feels to me like it is so hard now to find a standalone book. And I prefer standalone books over books that have a sequel, over books that are a trilogy. And also what I am seeing a lot of in the young adult world is trilogies that do not feel planned. They feel extremely forced because I think authors are being really pressured by publishers to come out with more books. Like, say somebody comes to a publisher and they say, I've got a really good book, here it is, what do you think? The publisher might, I'm not experienced this myself, but I'm thinking this is what is happening, is that the publisher is probably saying, this is cool, can it be 2 more books as well? So it is either one very good idea, then stretched out into 3 books, and where it is not such a good idea anymore, or one very good idea that makes a great standalone book, and then at least 2 other books tagged on there that just weaken it and weaken it. Yeah, I don't approve of this. As a writer, it makes me very nervous going into the world of trying to get published, because am I going to have a harder time because I write standalone books? I don't want to write trilogies. I don't want to write series. I want to write a book and be finished with that book. I mean, I know there's editing and that sort of thing. That's not what we're talking about. If I ever have like a brilliant idea where I'm like, this has to be 3 books, then I will write 3 books. But I don't want to have my book have to be a series. When I'm done with a book, I'm done with it. That's the way my brain works. I'm done with it. I'm done with that world. I'm done with those characters. The book is finished. So I could probably never write a Harry Potter series. And I've never tried to write a trilogy, because like I said, it's just not the way my brain works. Maybe it will happen someday. But it is concerning to me that this seems to be like such a huge trend. Everywhere I look, I'll find a book. Like what I tend to do a lot of times is just go to the library and start just perusing the shelves, and I'll pick out something that looks interesting, read the back, whatever. And so often it doesn't even tell you that this book you just picked up is part of a series or part of a trilogy. And so you get it home and you don't understand what the fuck is going on because you've accidentally picked up book 2. This has happened to me so many times, where I'll read the back, it looks really promising, I'll get home and it's book 2 or book 3 of a series. And I don't want to deal with that. I just want to read a book that looks cool. So labeling would be important. I feel like everything should have numbers on it. Like comics or graphic novels, they usually have a number on the spine. That needs to be a thing. It needs to be clear if a book is part of a series. And so often I will also find a book that I thought was really cool on its own. I really enjoyed The Fifth Wave. And researching it a little bit online, I'm finding that there's going to be more in that series, and that frustrated me because I thought that it was fine by itself, and I'm worried that sequels are going to ruin it. Especially, I know the ending of The Fifth Wave is a little bit of a cliffhanger, but it was an acceptable sort of cliffhanger to end a book on. in my opinion. I don't mind if everything in my book is not wrapped up in a neat little bow at the end. That is fine. I actually like that better if it's open-ended. But now it turns out it's so that it can have sequels, and that annoys me a lot. And I don't, is it just money, or are we really, as a culture, are we really into sequels right now? I know this is also a thing that is happening in the adult book world as well. I just don't pay as much attention to it. But everything feels like it needs to have a sequel. It's so hard to find a standalone book nowadays. Do you, as a reader, are sequels a thing that you really want? I mean, it drives me crazy. I get to the end of a book and it's a cliffhanger. Every single book has to have a cliffhanger, and then you have to wait for the next one to come out, and I just want to read a book. You know, sometimes you just want to read a book and not have to wait, or not have to find book 2 or book 3 to find out what happens. Does that happen to you, or am I like alone in this? It's frustrating. So, pretty much my rant. A lot of hand motions, a lot of this. It's a short little rant, but share with me your thoughts. Do you like a book to have sequels? Do you read a book and hope that it has sequels because you want more? Or are you, like me, getting frustrated with how everything seems to need to have a sequel nowadays and be part of a trilogy or be part of a big long thing that doesn't seem intentional? Does that bother you as much as it bothers me? Leave me a comment, let me know, share, talk. Go onto my Facebook and talk about it there. Yeah.